Hello, we are Liz and Jamie.
And we live on a boat with a cat. In the last episode, Thailand's southwest monsoon made its presence felt. We hung out on the beach at Ko Lanta. And we stumbled across the Bates Motel in the hills. This time. Just left the beautiful island of Ko Lanta where we spent 2 glorious days, and we are now heading south to Langkawi. We need to check out of Thailand and we need to get new visas so that we can come back to this wonderful place. So right now we've got 15 knots of wind. It's a beam reach, wind's coming from the east. We've got some pretty moody skies, but we're loving it because we're getting some sailing in and some good sailing. So we were reaching 6 knots before I started this. I guess we're still, how are we doing? Yeah, 6.5 knots. So this is great. So the plan today is to just keep going. We're going to keep going as far and as fast as we can with the sail. And then once the wind gives up, which hopefully it won't, but it may, we'll then reduce to engine. And at that stage, we have a look at this, Southeast Asia Pilot, and have a look at what they suggested the best anchorages in the area that we happen to be. We were looking at Ko Rock originally, far too close. It's only 20 miles. We can do better than that. Or Ko Phetra, or somewhere like that, 30 miles. Ko Tarutao is 60 miles away, which is a full day's sailing for us. If we make it to Ko Tarutao, we're doing really well and we're way ahead of ourselves. But let's see what happens. We threw out a couple of lines and I had fun playing with the different lures, but sadly there was no fish for Millie that night. Jamie, where are we?
So we are now at Phetra, which is spelled P-H-E-T-R-A. It's been one of the best sails we've done this season, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think it is, definitely. We left at what, 8:30?
So yeah, we left at about 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. We've done 35 miles, and average speed was 5.3 knots, but we managed to hit 7.5 knots. It felt like we were doing plus six knots for most of the time. So, and despite appearances with the cloudy day today, it's actually perfect sailing conditions, because in the tropics, of course, it can get really hot, and on a hot summer's day it can be sweltering. So the temperature today has been perfect. Sea state has been very good. We've had the wind either on the beam or on our hind quarter, mainly on the beam. So it's been fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And we've got a little bit of swell here, so we're hoping as we go around the corner of Phetra we're going to be able to tuck in and get away from this little bit of swell.
During our last passage from Auchelong to Koh Lanta, the heat exchanger overheated and we were forced to stop the engine. Now Jamie was being hyper careful about daily, even hourly, engine checks. Although we'd seen no rise in temperature this time, we had discovered the water was falling faster than it should.
Okay, so I've just had a look at the heat exchanger end caps. That was the first thing to check, to see that they weren't leaking. Very difficult to tell, so I'm having to take off each end cap. Bit of a pain in the backside actually, because the top end cap is very difficult to get off. I think I've got to take the bottom end cap off first to slide out the exchanger, and then take the top cap off. Anyway, the top cap has a few nicks in it from the Jubilee clips. That's one of the problems with this stupid design, is that when you tighten them up, presumably through over time, the vibration of the engine moves the Jubilee clip, and yeah, it damages the rubber. However, in taking off the bottom end cap, I found this. In fact, there's two pieces, three pieces even. That is our impeller. So it looks like the impeller has either this is an old impeller which has worked its way through the system, or more than likely this is our new impeller we put on a few months ago that has broken up and has worked its way through inside, which might also explain a few issues with overheating of the engine, of course. But I checked the water level, and sure enough, the water level's dropped down, so I think it's more than just the impeller. There's another problem as well. So, let's try and get this fixed this morning, shall we? Okay, inspection mirrors. These are very useful on a boat. Getting into small spots, we can see there's our impeller, and there is nothing wrong with it. So those blades we found in there were from an old impeller, which is kind of frustrating because, having taken the back off, I've now destroyed the gasket. So I think I'm going to have to make a new one out of gasket rubber glue, or see if I can dig around and find another one of these. I need more of this though.
As soon as Jamie made the repair, we lifted the hook and set our sails towards Langkawi, around 40 miles south of Phetra.
Well, Liz is downstairs making omelettes, and so I thought I would just talk you through what's going on here, because as you can see, our speed has dropped. In fact, it's actually picked up again, but we've only got, well, now we've got 7 knots of true wind speed, and we're fairly close hauled, and as you can see, sea state completely flat. So it means I can walk you around the boat and tell you what's going on from the front to the back, because I'm sure the eagle-eyed among you will have spotted a few things, a few issues with the boat. Esper's never perfect, so there's always something going on, unfinished projects starting from the front. So here you can see this is our Yankee. It's very high cut, which basically means it goes all the way up there, and a normal Genoa will go along the bottom. And we had a few issues with it sticking. So at the top of the mast up there, if you remember, I put in a bullseye which allows the halyard to be pushed out at the right angle, that it didn't get didn't wrap around the top drum. Down the bottom, temporarily I've just put in this line here, so it lifts the sail up to the correct position. And you can see the leech line and the foot line are stuck. We have a few issues with those. And the other thing is our telltales on one side have got a bit stuck. But on the whole, that's performing okay. I'll come to the runners in a minute. Right, this is our staysail. This is our least favourite sail at the moment, because it is it's a little bit baggy. It's a bit out of shape. Many years ago, a squid flew onto the deck of the boat in the middle of the night and stained our sail. Never been able to get that off. That is squid ink. But at the moment, it's doing all right. It's quite tight, but it has a tendency to get a bit baggy. Mainsail. What's there to say about the mainsail? Not much really. You will notice that the car is on back to front, the outhaul car, and the problem with trying to turn this around are all the ball bearings inside, and trying to get this thing off without losing the bearings. This is an ongoing problem, this car. I've never been happy with this setup. We've lost it 2 or 3 times. It's ripped away from this track, but again, there's a bit of a bag in that for going upwind. Need to pull the outhaul out a little bit more. Coming down to the sheets. So here's the sheet for the Yankee, and normally when you're going into wind, you pull this car all the way back. When you're running downwind, you push the car forward. I keep forgetting this, and that is why the car currently is sort of, well, it's some way back, but it could be back further. So what I'm tempted to do is to move that back car all the way back there to the end of the track, so that it comes back on this winch. What else? This head I've put on wrong way round, so at the moment it's very difficult to tail because it's in the wrong angle. This needs to be over here, which will make winching it a little bit easier. We try to keep our lines tidy. It's not always easy when you have so many lines that we're, especially at the moment, constantly pulling, constantly trimming, playing. I mean, there's not much else to do, so it's just a bit of fun just playing with the lines. So I've pulled, you can see the mainsail right the way close into as wind as possible. Okay, these are our, well, there's a sort of contention over what they are actually called. Are they backstays, running backstays, or check stays? We have friends who tell us these are actually check stays because they are only used when we use the staysail. They are not providing any other stability to the mast So they're only used when we go upwind. So obviously we have to stay sail out, which means that the windward backstay is pulled back. So we make this nice and tight. And you can see the leeward one, we take all the way forward, because if we need to push the boom out, it has a tendency to hit that block, and we used to get scraped paint here, so we try to look after that. And then finally there's the mizzen. So this is our mizzen sail. Very easy to deal with. I love this, I really do. I know a lot of people who have ketches who get rid of their mizzen mast altogether, which I can never really quite figure out. I mean, there are advantages in terms of the amount of deck space it uses up, lots of extra cables, but the mizzen sail is normally the first sail I take out and the last sail I put away. Extremely useful in balancing the boat, especially going into wind, which we're doing at the moment. It means that it takes a lot of pressure off the autopilot. You can see the wheel is barely moving at all because the boat's pretty balanced, and that is due to this lovely mizzen. So we use it all the time. And a couple of minor issues with the furling mechanism inside, which since taking it apart it doesn't lock, but it's all nice and clean and functioning well. And that is pretty much it at the moment. Suddenly picked up 6 knots. You can see that.
15, 16 knots of wind.
So this is how we do technology on Esper. Liz, what are you doing?
I have to send my copy for a Wanderlust blog today, the latest day. So I've got my tablet and I'm trying to send it through the phone to Peter in London via email.
So tell us a bit about this Wanderlust blog then.
Yeah, Wanderlust magazine, it's a really important travel magazine in the UK and it's read worldwide. And they have a website which is great. It's an incredible reference tool for travelling all over the world. It's not just a yachty thing, it's a travelling and holiday website. So they asked me if I'd like to write a blog for them from the perspective of being on a yacht and sailing and doing the thing that we're doing. So this is my second one going out this week.
And so tell us about the problems that we've got right now in terms of connectivity and your deadline.
Yeah, so we're trying to get out of Thailand so that we can check into Malaysia, and we have to go south to Langkawi. We've got great wind, making good speed at the moment, but we are in the Bay of Bengal, so it's kind of connections going in and out rather. So I'm sending him the copy in an email because I think that's probably the least amount of bandwidth. I don't know. We'll see.
Right, Liz, tell us what's going on. What are our thoughts?
Our thoughts are this. We have Tarutao immediately in front of us. We've arrived 1 o'clock we would be in an anchorage within the hour, but if we carry on, Langkawi, which is our destination for this trip, is only another 20 nautical miles, and since we average about 5, we should get there in around 4 hours if we continue with this lovely wind that's just taking us straight there. So we're going to carry on. We're going to carry on and hope the wind stays with us, and if it doesn't, it's a nice open stretch of water. There aren't any things that we have to avoid, apart from anything that might be floating, so we keep our eyes peeled, but that's not so difficult because if it gets dark, it's a full moon and visibility is brilliant. So we're going to go to Langkawi.
So, change of plan. We figured that by racing down to Talaga and getting there around about 6-7 o'clock in the evening wasn't going to achieve anything, because we wouldn't be able to check in until tomorrow anyway. And since we're passing Tarutao, which is Thailand's oldest national park and one of the most beautiful unspoilt parts in this whole area, actually, we figured we'd go and anchor up and go and explore it. So it's still only 2:40 in the afternoon, so plenty of time. We'll anchor up and take in the views, and then we'll have an early start tomorrow, so we still get down and check in tomorrow in Talaga anyway. So this is our beautiful anchorage. It's marred by one major problem. What is it?
We're rolling around.
And you don't care, do you?
I can sleep through anything, but you get irritable, and I'd rather not be here with an irritable you, so it's up to you to decide what you want to do.
Why do I get irritable?
Because it's rolling.
Okay, look, just to explain. I've taken the stabilisation off the camera so that I can give you an idea of how much this is rolling. So if I let's lay it down on the deck here. See, when I stand up with it, I naturally want to move the camera, but this is not what I call comfortable. It is one of my most hated scenarios in boating, apart from running aground. I absolutely detest rolly anchorages, so we're going to try an experiment. Liz, can you explain what we're going to do? I've only just told you, haven't I?
Yeah, I don't really understand how you're going to do it, but you say if you put a bucket on the end of the boom in the water, that the boat isn't strong enough to pull it out of the water, and that stabilises us. But I would love to see if that's really true.
Has it worked?
No.
Do you think it's made any difference?
No. I think if we weren't 14 tons, it might help.
Well, as you can see, this has made absolutely no difference whatsoever. So if anyone out there knows what we're doing wrong, please write in and tell us. Flopper stopper. That's what we needed. We needed a flopper stopper. Well, since viewing that clip, I have to say I'm quite embarrassed that we really didn't have a clue what we were doing. We had read about this somewhere in the dim and distant past and knew that we had to deploy something off the side of the boat in order to stabilise it in that rocky anchorage. There's lots of solutions out there. You can buy them from chandleries or you can make your own. And quite simply, all you need to do is to hang a milk crate or a bucket or something that has a one-way valve in the bottom with weights underneath. The idea being that as it drops into the water, the flap at the bottom will open up, allow the water to come in, and then as it comes back up again, that flap closes and it kind of keeps the water in. Even a milk crate, as I say, will allow the water to stay in for enough period of time to stop the boat from swinging back up. I have to say though, when I get to anchorages like that, I really can't be bothered with that kind of solution, and given the choice, I would prefer to move on to a calmer anchorage, which is of course what we did in this case. But anyway, we'd love to hear from anyone who's successfully deployed a flopper stopper, and we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, Jamie, take 23 of our trip from Phetra to Tarutao. What are we doing today? I mean now, at the end of the day.
Right, well, as you can probably see, I don't know if I switched the stabilisation back on that. It's still really, really bouncy, and it was just too much. And even Liz admitted off camera that it was too much for her. And if it's too much for Liz, then it was too much for everyone. Millie hated it. I hated it. It was a shame because it really is very, very beautiful. It would have been nice to have gone ashore and checked it out, and it was hot and sweaty and we were getting very grumpy. So the plan now is just to head to the north of Langkawi, which is only 8 miles away, rather than going into Talaga, which is a little bit further. And also actually the anchorage in Talaga is also exposed to the southwest, so I think we'd have the same problem. At least where we're going now, which is the rather splendid Datai Hotel, which is one of the most exclusive hotels in Langkawi. It's a 5-star resort, and we're allowed to anchor off outside. So I'm hoping just literally 6 miles down there, we'll just get some respite from this swell.
In the next episode, we anchor in a 5-star bay. Jamie gets to grips with the splash drone. And we make a new purchase.
Follow the boat.
Follow the boat.
Follow the boat.
If you missed it, you can catch our previous episode here. If you're interested in the technical side of boat maintenance, then check out our complete boat refit playlist here. If you'd like to say thanks for all the free videos and want to buy us a beer, then come and find us here. That's nice.